about the analytic assessments that really shaped the public and government discussion of the Russia-Ukraine war.
I mean, really, methodologically, we ended up, I mean, there are a lot of questions we looked at, but if you want to narrow it down to three fundamental ones, which we lay out in the report, the first one is the vision of the Russian military. So we divided it up, and there is why was the Russian military thought to be so effective, able to act as it did? Why was it thought to be able to do complex operations as well as it was able to do? Why was its doctrine considered so positive? Why was its structure considered so positive? And it was a question of, therefore, how was the Russian military portrayed? What criterion were used? And that was sort of one group of questions we can go into. The second was, what about the Ukrainians? On the other hand, why were the Ukrainians considered, far less was written about the Ukrainians, but also why were they considered as to a force that would be unable to put up a conventional fight? You know, there was a lot of assumption they might have to go to guerrilla warfare, fight in the cities. Why was it assumed that Ukraine, which is a large country with a significant military, why was it unable to put up the conventional fight, which clearly they were able to do? And then we put it all together, and I think both Elliot and I have been really fascinated by this. How was war as a concept put forward? That, I mean, if you study from a military historian view, war is almost always a screw-up. And it goes off the rails. You know, it doesn't work that well. And yet what was fascinating was that this war was assumed to be so specific, hours, days, weeks. Yeah. And how can we get to the point when we look at a war? And ultimately, I think we're both, we want to learn from this because we both believe we can't make these mistakes again. If we do this again about, say, the Indo-Pacific, it could even have more catastrophic consequences.
John, you're a military historian as well. What are the